Hello everyone. Yes, myself Vinuta BM. I'm a science facilitator from Davangere. So welcome to the session. So in this session we are going to discuss about ICSE syllabus science subject 6th class first chapter life on earth. So before going to start the class, let's I'll give introduction about this chapter, okay? So in your daily life you are engaged with so many activities and then you are surrounded by so many things. So what are those things? So it may be a living or non-living. How can you notice that this thing is living thing, this thing is non-living things? Yes, you can easily notice. How means if the thing shows any activities, response means that is living thing. The thing which it will not showing any activity, it will not response means that is non-living thing. And also we can define living thing, the things which are alive, the things which are alive, the things which have life process, the things which have life means that is living things. Example for living thing: plants, animal, human beings, etc. And then coming to the non-living thing, the things which are not alive, it doesn't have any life process and it doesn't have any life means those are non-living thing. Example for non-living thing: table, chair, pencil, toy, like that. Okay, understand? Here in the next slide you can see the living and non-living things. See, in living things we can see tree, spider, tiger, mushroom, bird, flower, fox. So these are all living things. Non-living things means clouds, pencil, bicycle, notebook, etc. Okay, it is all about living thing and non-living thing. Clear? Yes. Let's move to the next subtopic, that is characteristic of living beings. So, what is characteristic then? So, characteristic means the quality of that particular individual. Okay, the quality of that individual that we can differentiate that individual from other one. Okay, this is the meaning of characteristic. Okay, the first most characteristic is living beings are made up of cells. Okay, then what is cell? Cell is the smallest basic unit of life that is responsible for the life process. Okay, so cell is very smallest, we can't see in our naked eyes, we have to examine under the microscope only. And then the cell is the responsible for the life process activities like metabolism, excretion, digestion, respiration. So these are all, so cell is the responsible for all these activities. Okay, and then cell is a structural and functional unit of life. Cell gives particular structure of that organism and also it perform particular function of that in the organism. So we can say cell is a structural and functional unit of life. And also cell is a building blocks of life, because without cell we can't imagine any organism. Okay, for example, to build an house we want bricks, like that cell is the building blocks of life. Okay, understand? This is all about cell. And then who coined the term called cell means Robert Hooke. Okay, he is a scientist. In 1665 he used his basic microscope. In his basic microscope he examined and he coined the term called cell. And then coming to the unicellular and multicellular organism. So what is unicellular? So organisms which are made up of single cell. So those are unicellular. Example for the unicellular organism: bacteria, paramecia, amoeba, chlamydomonas, so etc. These are all unicellular organisms. So in unicellular organism, that single cell performs the whole functions of the body. That's the great job. Okay, but in multicellular organism, so that organism is made up of so many cells, or many more than one cell. Okay, those are multicellular organism. In multicellular organism, certain group of cell perform particular function. Okay, example for the multicellular organism: earthworm, dog, man, octopus, fishes, okay, etc. So this is all about unicellular and multicellular organism. Okay, you want to see the animal cell and plant cell means, first coming to animal cell. Yes, slightly scratch the inner part your cheek and put it on the glass slide and examine under the microscope. You can observe there small circular shaped cells, right? So inside that cell we can notice so many cell organelles. Here you can see nucleus, and see, this is nucleus and this is cytoplasm. Okay, cytoplasm. So this is the structure of animal cell. Okay, you want to see the plant cell means, take an onion and peel out the inner part of the onion and examine under the microscope. There you can see the compartments. Okay, rectangular shape is there na, these are cells. Inside there's so many cell organelles are present, those perform a particular function. Okay, understand? This is all about the characteristics. First characteristic, that is living beings are made up of cell. Yes, the second most characteristic of living being is growth and change. Every living thing grow. Yes, it is an irreversible process. Okay, the change in the size and mass in humans and animals, up to the certain age we can see the growth. After that it will stop. But coming to the plant, throughout the life the growth takes place. Okay, the seedlings grows into a plant and the puppy grows into a dog. Yes, growth is a result of cell division. See, as the number of the cell increases, the organism growth also increases. The new cells also replace the old cells, resulting in the growth. So here baby grow into a boy, boy grow into an adult. This is due to the cell division. Understand? And then coming to the non-living thing. Here you can see the Himalayan mountain. Day by day it is increasing in the height because of the deposition of the ice on the surface. Okay, deposition of ice on that surface, that's why it is increasing in the height. This is about the growth and change. The next characteristic is living thing can move. Yes, movement is a most important sign of living thing, because animals and human beings have to move from one place to another place in search of food and shelter, and also they'll move from one place to another to protect themselves from the enemies. Okay, coming to the plant, see, some floating plants, those are not fixed to the soil, right? That's why those will move one place to another with water. Okay, and then in plants we can see the movement in the parts only. See, root will move downwards or moves towards the ground or soil, and then shoot moves towards the light. This is the one important thing. And also coming to the non-living thing, non-living thing will not move. If it is moving means someone is putting external pressure or external force. Okay, this is all about living thing can move. Yes, the next one is nutrition. So it is a basic thing every living thing want. Okay, every living being need food because they want energy. Why we want energy means we have to do work, so it is like a cycle. If we want to survive means every living organism wants nutrition. It is a basic thing. In green plants, the pigment called chlorophyll in the leaf, it helps to manufacture the food. That's why plant will manufacture their own food in the presence of sunlight, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and then soil, water. So those are called autotrophs. Okay, the organisms which manufacture their own food means those are autotrophs. But some animals and human beings are directly or indirectly depends on plants for their food. They are called heterotrophs or consumers. Understand? This is about the heterotrophs and autotrophs. Yes. Move on to the next. Living things excrete. All living organism generate some waste product or toxic product in their body in different forms. So they get rid of them waste product from the system called excretory system. So in animals, special organs like kidney, lungs, gills, sweat glands, so those are helpful to remove the waste product from the body. So waste product like urine, sweat, exhaled hair, solid waste like feces. So this is all about in excreting animals. Coming to the plant, plants throw out their gaseous waste product from the small opening in their leaves called stomata. In the other hand, excretory product also like gum, resins or come out from the surface of the plant body. This is about excrete. And then the next characteristic is respiration. All living things need energy for the activity. Okay, the energy is obtained from the food. The living beings take an oxygen during breathing. Food is oxidized with the help of oxygen in the body to produce energy. Okay, how energy produced means if food is oxidized with the help of oxygen. Okay, the chemical process by which energy is released from the food is called respiration. Living organisms give out carbon dioxide during respiration and then intake oxygen, but non-living things will not breathe or will not respire. Okay, the next characteristic of living being is response to stimuli. Yes, every living organism will respond to a stimuli by modifying its behavior or what it is doing. Depends on what it is doing. Okay, every living will every living things will respond to change in temperature, light, smell, okay, etc. So for example, if we touch an hot object, will immediately withdraw our hands. So in this picture you can see a man is touching a hot object. After that he is immediately withdrawing his hand, right? So here the temperature is a stimuli. or that hot object is a stimuli, or and he is withdrawing his hand is a response. Understand? Like that, when we feel hungry, we'll eat. Hungry is a stimuli, eating is the response. Okay, this is in the animals or in human beings. Coming to the plants, we can see in plants also, the plants also show some response for the stimuli. Okay, so in some sensitive plants like mimosa pudica, if we touch the leaf of the plant, the leaves will close up and drop. See in the picture, before touching the leaves, it is in the normal condition, but after touching it is the leaves are close up and drop. Here the touching of the leaves is the stimuli, and the close up of the leaves is the response. Understand? And also you can see the second example in the plant. See in the second picture, the plant shoot part is bending towards the light. Okay, because the shoot part will grows towards the sunlight, and also the root part will grows towards the ground or into the soil. Understand? Here the bending of the plant towards the light is the response, and the sunlight is the stimuli. Okay, understand? So this is all about what? Response to stimuli in the living beings. So the next characteristic is reproduction. So what is reproduction? So it is a process by which living organism produce its new offspring. So different type of reproduction is there: asexual reproduction, sexual reproduction, vegetative reproduction. Okay, all living organism reproduce. See, mammals like man, dog, cow reproduce by giving birth to their young ones. Okay, while in the other hand, lizard, birds, insects, they lay eggs. Okay, then coming to the plants, plant also reproduce by means of seeds. See, if we plow a seed in the soil, it will develop into a single plant. And non-flowering plant reproduce by means of tiny structure called spores. Okay, and then coming to non-living things, non-living things will not reproduce. Okay, next characteristic is living beings have definite lifespan. Okay, so lifespan in an organism is largely determined by its genetic makeup, so which sets the biological limits for how long it can live under optimal condition. Okay, all living organisms go through a life cycle including birth, growth, reproduction, and eventually death, and it signifies a finite lifespan or definite lifespan. In this tabular column, you can see the some lifespan of particular organisms. See, the lifespan of housefly is 1 to 4 months, and mouse live up to 2 to 3 years, and then sparrow 10 years, dog 15 to 18 years, horse 25 to 30 years, elephant 70 to 90 years, and tortoise 150 to 200. Printing mistake is there, sorry, 150 to 200 years. Understand? This is all about lifespan of living organism. Yes, the next one is difference between living and non-living. We already learned that what is living and what is non-living, right? So can we recall? Yes, living things means the things which are alive, the things which have life. But what is non-living thing? Non-living thing means doesn't have any life, those are not alive. Okay. See in this table, what's the first point? Living things shows movements of a part of their body. Yes, living thing shows movement. In the characteristics only, we learned movement is a basic sign of every organism. They'll move from one place to another in search of food and shelter. Okay, coming to the non living thing. So, non living thing will not move. If it is moving, means someone is putting external pressure or external force. Okay, the next one is living thing grow. Okay, yes, living thing will grow due to the cell division. So cells are the building block of life. That's why if the cell division is happening, means the growth also happening. Okay, coming to the non-living thing, they will not show any growth because there is no cellular structure in the non-living thing. That's why there is no division of cells. Okay, and then the third point is living things reproduce. Yes, living thing will give birth to their young ones. Okay, and then non-living thing will not reproduce. The fourth point, living thing can feel. Okay, we already learned that living thing responds to stimuli. Okay, if we touch any hot object means we'll immediately withdraw our hand, right? So living thing will respond to a stimuli, but non-living things will not feel. It will not respond to any stimuli. The fifth point is living thing respire. Yes. So we want energy, right? So the chemical process in which the food is oxidized, it is there na, though that process is called respiration. Non-living thing, there is no respiration. Then the sixth point is living thing excrete. Excrete means removal of waste product from the body using some organs. In non-living things, there is no excretory system. They will not excrete any material. And then the last point, living thing need food. Yes, to survive, every living organism need food and nutrition, but in non-living thing, they don't want any food and nutrition. This is all about living and non-living. Yes. Yes, now we can see the differentiate between the plants and animals. Okay, plants. All green plants make their own food and the process is known as photosynthesis. Yes, plants will produce its own food, that manufacture its own food. Okay, though that's why those are called autotrophs. Coming to animals, animals cannot synthesize their food. They depends on other animals directly or indirectly. Okay, they are depends on other animals or plants for their food. Okay, plants remain the next point, the plants remain fixed, do not move. Okay, some plants like floating plants, they are not fixed to soil, that's why they are moving along with the water, but all plants will not move. Animals move freely in search of food and shelter. And the third point, plant grows throughout their lifespan. Okay, plants grows throughout their life period. Coming to animals, up to the certain period, we can see the growth. Fourth point, plant reproduce by producing seeds and spores. Yes, if we plow a seed, it will develop into a plant, and with the help of spores also plant reproduce. Coming to animals, so some animals give birth to their young ones, and also some animals lay eggs. Fifth point, plant shows response of lesser degree as they lack of sense organs and nervous system. So when we compare the plants with animals, plants shows lesser degree of response for the external stimulus. But in animal, when we compare animals with plants, it shows greater degree of response for the stimuli because of the presence of sense organ nervous system. Understand, this is about the differences between plants and animals. So shall we recall what we have learnt in this session? Okay, so first we learnt about the definition of plants and definition of living thing and non-living thing and the examples. Okay, the next characteristics of living beings. So living beings are made up of cells. Here you can see the plant cell and animal cells. And also about the who coined the term cell means Robert Hooke in 1665. Okay, and the second characteristic is growth and changes. Due to the cell division we can see the growth. Okay, and then the next characteristic is movement. Living thing can move, and living thing need nutrition. Living thing excrete, okay, using some special organs like kidney, lungs, sweat glands. So they'll remove the waste material from the body. Okay, and then respiration, response to stimuli, reproduction, and about lifespan. So these are all what we learned, and also differences between living and non-living thing, and the difference between the plants and animals. So these are what we learned in this session. I hope this class will helpful for you. I wish you all the best for your new adventure. Thank you for watching.